Hey, thank you for watching the podcast. We're happy that you clicked on this video. We have a really exciting podcast episode for you today. Today, we are going to talk about some of our very first cell phones that we had, and we actually have them here to show you some of them. Also, Joshua's going to finish off the podcast showing you something unique and exclusive. Is that a horn?
No.
Okay, yeah. Showing something unique and exclusive that he has on one of his old phones that I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out. Anyway, let's get started. Thank you guys so much for joining us again here in another episode. We're excited to be here. We're bringing energy to this podcast for sure.
We are. So this week I had the idea of bringing out our old cell phones.
Yep.
I wouldn't say we had cell phones when we were really young. We weren't.
No, we weren't allowed to have them.
We weren't allowed to have them when we were young. But how old were you when you had your first cell phone?
I was 15, and I remember that because I was 15 when I got my first job. And in order to get
14.
a cell phone, I had to have a job.
Yeah,
because I had to pay for it.
We had to pay for it ourselves, of course.
Yeah, our parents were going to pay for our cell phone.
Well,
we also weren't allowed to have social media for a long time.
Yes. I guess we had cell phones more like sooner than like our older siblings because we were the youngest. I mean, I'm the youngest in the family. Then you're right older than me. So, kind of as the younger sibling goes, you get things quicker because.
So you got things the quickest.
Yeah.
You're the youngest of 5.
I had mine when I was 14.
Okay, I had mine when I was 15.
You go first because I want to introduce mine after you.
You sure?
So, yes.
I got more than you do.
But. Okay, so go first, and then I'll introduce mine. You can introduce the next one.
Okay. All right, so this is my very first cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
It flips up just like this, and there's a keypad. There's a keypad on it. I was very excited to get this. I didn't want a flip phone. This is a slide phone. I don't know if any of you guys had one of these before, but this is just a keypad. It was great for texting. It taught me how to type. And it was a lot easier to text with. I know when I got a cell phone, I knew everything I was going to be doing on it was a lot of texting. So it was very important to me to make sure that I learned how to text fast. And so this was my first cell phone. I had this for a few years. There's actually a case on it that I couldn't get off. That was one of the protective cases on the back side of this. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get that off. And so I just left it on. But the front side's not on it.
Was there anything interesting you found on the phone? Or have you looked?
I haven't looked. I didn't turn it on. I don't think I have the chargers for these anymore. So I don't even know if I can get them on.
I have the charger for mine, but somehow my battery still works. Like I haven't used it in years, but for some reason the battery.
I'm going to try to turn this thing on. Let's see if it works.
It took a minute for mine to boot up.
I don't see it. I don't see it turning on. I can try the other ones as we go.
Probably dead. Okay, so that was your first phone.
Mm-hmm.
So you had yours at 15. I had mine at 14.
Yeah.
Because I got my first job at that point.
Yeah. What phone was it?
I have the LG. I don't know what it's exactly called, but it's very similar to your phone, but the LG version.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get your phone. The reason why I wanted you to introduce this first because it is.
Hold it up.
It's just like yours. It's like this. It has a keypad. If I can get open.
I just realized all of our old phones are gonna look very similar. So this is not exciting.
No, it's different from what people see these days that are just smartphones. I mean, it had a keypad because I wanted to get one like yours because I wanted that keypad. I wanted to text to.
Yeah.
But the Verizon I went to, because I had the Verizon carrier at the time,
yep.
I still do, but they did not have that version of the phone.
Yeah.
They had this one, which is the LG.
Yeah, he's dropped his phone.
But it's still fine. You know why? Because it's not a smartphone.
It's not a smartphone.
You could throw.
We're on carpet here. It's safe.
I used to throw this thing so much.
Used to throw it?
Yeah, because this thing's indestructible, man.
It does feel indestructible. Mine does as well.
Okay, so...
Oh, these had cameras. I forgot.
Yes, they had cameras. But I wanted that phone. I couldn't get that phone, so this was the next best thing, and I got this.
Okay.
I actually remember I got my first cell phone. I wanted a cell phone for a while. But I remember there's a little story behind me getting a cell phone. Okay. I don't know if you remember this. I went to some event. No, it was the time we were filming a video. Do you remember we filmed that Alcatraz video?
Mm-hmm.
Right after the Alcatraz video, someone from, I know we don't like talking about this all the time, but Scout Troop at a party.
Yeah,
you weren't in the Scouts at this point, so you didn't go, but I was like, I'm going to this party, and I got the okay from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
I was only 14, but I didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
Something happened to where, do you remember, I don't know what the gang's called, but it's a motorcycle gang that's
Hell's Angels.
Really popular in the South.
Hell's Angels.
Yes. They were having a rally like right down the road from our house.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't a big deal if you drove, but our parents were just there freaking out.
Well, they grew up when Hell's Angels was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And they were like super dangerous. And so it's kind of like a mediocre gang at this point. They've died off for sure since their glory days.
Probably.
But they were still in the area. They were at a couple bars in the area. So because my parents had these dark memories of this gang, they were like, Joshua, stay off the roads. Just stay at your friend's house.
Well, no, they couldn't get a hold of me because I didn't have a phone.
Oh, was that what triggered
to
get you a phone?
I wanted to have a phone before this, and I had a job, but they didn't want me to get a phone, or they didn't think I could pay for it, like the responsibility or anything.
Yeah.
But I went over to this party, and they couldn't get a hold of me. They didn't know who was going to be at the party. They didn't know who they could call to get in touch with me to tell me don't come home, basically.
Gotcha.
So the next day, literally the next day, they said I could get a phone. Do you remember that at all?
I don't remember that. I don't remember it. I remember the event. I don't remember it being like that's what got you a phone.
Well, it wasn't. It was. I had a job already, but they just didn't think I was responsible enough to have my own phone. They wanted me to
like,
wait.
Screw this. You're having a phone.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what modern parenting is. And it was like a point. It took like their last kid for our parents to be like, oh, I need to be able to get a hold of my kid when he's in trouble, or I need to communicate with him. So I'm getting you a phone. Yeah. And every modern day parent gets their kid a phone like so early because they think I need to get a hold of my kid at any point.
That's true. Which I was fine. And even if they couldn't get a hold of me. And
it's because they don't trust you. Parents don't trust kids.
I guess.
They just don't.
I don't know. With a phone, it kind of seems like you can't trust me more.
You're giving them more freedom.
Yeah. So that was how I got my first phone.
Mm-hmm.
I paid for it myself, so I had a job. It wasn't like that I wasn't paying for it, but they wanted me to get a phone for that reason.
That's good. Good story.
Your second phone.
All right. Second phone. This is not exciting. It looks exactly the same, except it's a little thinner.
Okay. Do you want to?
This is
go do this one and the next one.
Yeah, I'll do the next one as well. So this is literally just Fiona. Get out of there, Fiona. Fiona, get away from that camera. Yeah, I'll go to the next one after this. It's just I wanted to just show you. It literally looks the exact same. I just got like the next generation version, or like the next year's version of the same one I had before. I'm going to go to the next one. This one was passed down to me.
Wait, hold up. Why, if you had the first version, why did you do the second version?
I just liked it. I was used to it.
No.
It was like
why did you have to get a second phone?
Why did I get another one?
Yeah. Why don't you just keep the first one?
I think it might have been because like our mom was saying they had an upgrade, and I had that one for a long time. So they were like, you can just get an upgrade.
Or did the first one like quit working?
No, the first one, I don't recall it going bad. maybe it was going bad, but it didn't actually die on me.
Okay.
You know, maybe it was going bad in some fashion. But yeah, that was my second phone. I'm going to go to my third phone. This was passed down to me from our older sister.
Mm-hmm.
It is a indestructible phone that doesn't require a case. The case is built on the body, and it flips open.
But it flips, doesn't slide.
This was...
Dude, that's a sexy phone.
Yeah, it is. This was an exciting phone for me to have. Because it's literally the exact same, except the screen's a little bigger, and it flips open sideways.
Text's nice.
It does. It has buttons.
Yeah, this is buttons, but it's like, it's hard
It's got a nice little... It's very firm. It's an indestructible phone. I'm sure buttons. You can't give it to me. I'm sure you can't see it, but there are scratches and dents and pokes and prods all over this dang thing. I mean, this has gone through some stuff, not only with my older sister, but especially with me. This is like the phone I had when I worked at that camp, and I would just like, it would fall out of my pocket. This was like,
I remember the only reason why you got that was because something was happening with your other phone.
Yeah, these other older ones, now that you're saying that, it does recall, I think these lasted like maybe a year and a half, and then they would start to glitch out on you.
My phone never glitched. It still works to this day. I could use it if I wanted to.
Well, you had the better brand than me, I guess. But yeah, this was the last phone I had before I upgraded to one of them touch phones.
Touchy.
Yeah, those iPhones.
What was your first? I know we don't have it right here, but what is your first smartphone?
Right here.
Oh, you still have it.
This is my first smartphone.
Okay.
I still use this. By this time, a few weeks ago, I tried to get an upgrade to get a new one. I have one here that I use kind of like as an iPad,
but it's not
activated. It's not on my plan. It's locked under a different company, and I don't want to switch plans. And so I'm gonna upgrade, but there was an issue with the order and everything, so they canceled the order, and I have to go in and resubmit the order and everything. So
yeah,
I'm currently still using my very first iPhone. I've had this for like probably 3 or 4 years now. Mm-hmm. Maybe almost 4 years. I know.
I had the first smartphone before. You're using that phone when I had my first
mm-hmm. I had
iPhone.
A case on this thing, but I just gave up, and I was just like, if it dies, it dies. It's old.
Yeah.
So it hasn't got a crack on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a few scratches on the back, but not a crack on the screen. I guess I'm pretty careful.
I guess. So going to my next phone, I don't have it, but it was an iPhone. It isn't. What version is that?
Is that iPhone 6? iPhone 6? 5.
5S?
No, this is a 6.
Okay.
A 6 SE.
I had the 5S, which is just right under that phone.
Okay.
That was my first smartphone after this phone.
You had a smartphone before me.
I did because
I was being stubborn and stuck with this one for a long time.
And also you were working at
Truck Supply.
No, camp, like the camp, the Wilds.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was camp, it was Christian camp. It was more of like a ministry type thing, so you didn't get paid a ton. So you're like, I don't have money for a smartphone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I was working a full-time job at that point, and I'm like, I've got money to spare. I gotta use this money somehow. So I'm gonna buy a phone, and I got the 5S, I remember.
Very nice.
It was awesome when I first got it.
Yeah.
It's not the best now.
Well, you get an iPhone that first time, there's nothing like upgrading a phone, and then all of a sudden you have a disc with no buttons. There's one button, maybe two, and you just touch the screen.
Yeah.
There's nothing as cool as that.
I remember I used the crap out of that thing. I mean, I didn't have a case on it because I didn't like the case either, but I remember I used that thing for hours and hours, and I used every
battery would
bit.
be dead in like 2 hours.
Well, no, the battery stayed decent, but I used it so much it would get hot in my hand.
Oh yeah,
like it would get hot because it was overworking, and I just used it so much.
That's a sign that you're using a tool. You're getting your money's worth.
Oh, I definitely did.
You're working the crap out of that phone.
And then I also upgraded to this phone. It's a iPhone 8, but that's what I have right now. An iPhone 8. But
I'm going to upgrade to a 7.
Okay.
I am.
I want to go back, though, to this phone. I turned it on When did I get this?
What time are we? Are we getting close to finishing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is what we teased at the beginning. I don't know what's on this.
Yes.
Is it gonna embarrass me?
I'll say it's not really embarrassing for you.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell a little story first, though. Before we got cell phones, you would use our mom's cell phone to call Seth Parrish and also our friend Jake Styling. So
that thing keeps slipping out of your hand.
It's because it's so slippery. There's no case on it. It's so slippery.
Okay.
Yes. You would call us
Seth
2 Pete and Jake Styling.
Yes.
Those two friends.
You know why I called him so much?
Why?
Because I wasn't good at texting. I couldn't text fast enough to keep up with him. So I was just like, I had to work my way into texting.
Well, so we had these two friends. We would use our mom's phone to call, basically. Mm-hmm. But she's like, you have your own phone, so we would call them, basically. Okay. I would say we weren't that much in the lady department at that point, so we weren't texting any females or beautiful dames.
Oh, I was.
No, okay. Not till you no, you did not even meet.
How old were we at this point?
14 and 15. You didn't meet Kenzie until you were out of high school.
Oh, I was texting girls before Kenzie.
Okay. But we didn't have a lot of game back then.
Oh, for sure. Being able to text someone doesn't mean you have game.
So we were only texting like guy friends, but I remember Jake Styling sent us a bunch of just voice memos and just funny things. I don't have all of them. I have a huge text thread I still have from him.
Jake Styling is a goof.
Yes.
He's a walking goof.
Yes. So I have this one sound recording that he sent me after actually.
I'm excited. I don't remember this.
This is actually kind of fun, quite funny and ironic because he's actually getting married this year. Soon. Yeah. But before he got married.
Before he got engaged. He's not married yet.
Before he got engaged,
okay.
Yes. Before all of that, and he basically grew up. I would say he wasn't a player because he was a young guy who could not get a girl.
I didn't know where you were going with that, and then you're like, he wasn't a player.
He wasn't a player, but because he couldn't get any girls, but he thought he could. Basically.
Yeah,
Is that the
for sure. He had a lot of.
Him?
He was bold.
He was bold. So he sent us this voice recording one time, and I'm gonna play it for you. Hopefully
you
can
to
hear
the mic.
it. I think it comes out right here.
All right, play it.
I once dated a girl for a day and a half. Then on the phone, she broke my heart in half. She took the one piece, and I took the other. Then I went home, crying to my mother.
Okay. So if you couldn't hear that, hopefully you could. He says, I once dated a girl for a day and a half. Then on the phone, she broke my heart in half.
He rhymed half with half.
He said, she broke my heart in half, and then I went home crying to my mother because she broke his heart.
He's got to be like friggin' 12 years old at this point.
Yeah, because he's younger than me.
He's a good few years younger than you.
So, yes, he was probably like 12 or 13 at this point.
Dang.
And
he thought he knew so much about love.
That's true. And it's kind of funny and ironic. It brings up a lot of memories of
that. At the very end of that, there was I think the punchline for that was an inside joke because it was like a little song he sang, kind of making fun of himself a little bit. But then he ends with, what was it? What is that from? It was just like
from
this.
The very first Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Loaded Diapers, their band on Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
He loved that movie.
He loved that movie because there was a scene in it where the guy just yells into the mic.
Yeah, he like really starts the song, just goes
comically. And Jake just found it so funny. So
he finished out that recording with like he would sing and then he put it up to the TV and just played that part. And so the song ends with this scream, and it was kind of an inside joke because he would always just be like, and he would tell us what it meant. So like, I don't know, it was just an inside joke. So
it was.
it would. I see why he would send that to you, because we probably got a number of chuckles out of that.
Yeah, I mean, we were probably like.
I remember that as soon as you started playing it. I remember
voice, we just like probably like giggling and like we had high pitched voice. We were giggling at it probably at that point
for sure.
So that was the phones we've had, and it's a little bit of something that I have still on this. I have some more stuff, but not really interesting to play on this podcast.
Yeah. Well, Jake, if you have watched this,
I know you watch our podcast because you've commented on some stuff.
Yes.
So yes,
I didn't know he watched it.
If he doesn't watch it, someone will show him probably.
I will make sure he sees this.
So Jake,
you're welcome.
Tell us if you remember this. I know you probably do.
Of course he remembers it. Tell us if you're embarrassed. Tell us, show it to your fiance and tell us what she thinks of it.
Yes, that would be funny.
She probably gonna be like, he sounds like a baby. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have not subscribed yet, what the crap are you doing, man?
Subscribe. We are doing this thing. So, thanks for watching this video and have a good day. Have a good day.
All right.